Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Limitless DXT coverage here in Belgium, in the Ardennes Forest, for this race at the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps for Super Sunday racing here at LFR. Got 15 drivers. You have a stream before the lobby glitched out, and we had 16 then, so we've lost one since then. Still with Justin, I haven't lost him along the way. He's still faithfully here in the commentary box with me tonight, and maybe a change in the weather. I don't know if we had it fixed or if it's gone back to dynamic, which would be interesting. It is just a whole restart, I suppose. Welcome for the first person watching in, Justin. You still doing all right? Is the clouds are looking a little bit darker this time?
Yeah, I'm doing okay still. Just very unfortunate that we have to restart and we did lose someone. But hopefully they if they have free time, possibly come down and watch the stream. Hopefully they would see what they have missed out on. But yeah, so we're still here, and actually you were right. The weather has changed a little bit. It's getting pretty cloudy today. So I think all of these drivers are trying to rush out and get their times up and running, as we have a Red Bull coming out right now. A lot of drivers coming out. We had an Aston Martin, a McLaren, and a lot of the ones in the back, possibly a Haas, possibly Alfa Romeo, and maybe even a Williams. So an AlphaTauri just come out there. So everyone's
And
putting out a lap.
oh, Justin, you ready for me to spice up your life? Well, especially for this Sunday night. Anyway, spice up your night. There is, I've been.
Well, you gotta take me out to dinner first.
It's, I don't think the girlfriend would be too happy about that. As halfway through the race, Justin, my weatherman on the track today has just told me that it's going to rain. So we're going to have mixed conditions in this Belgian Grand Prix, just like we did quite a while ago, actually, in Monday night with the last few laps of that race, becoming rather hectic and probably one of the best races in Monday night so far this season. And just watching Mr. Basil, they're all out on track quickly. There could be a chance of rain in this quali session as well, Justin, just with the cloud cover.
Oh, definitely. You can definitely see it coming in soon. And just by the weather alone, it's gonna spice up everything. And I'm actually surprised that not everyone is out right now. It looks like Mr. Basil is gonna be the first one, gonna be finishing his out lap, and hopefully Ryan Van Doom remembers to come out and go back into the pits to save his setup and retire, because he is gonna be serving a qualification ban today, I believe.
He is, yes. I think he is. He's just doing that, I believe, just in case. I suppose it is better to be safe than sorry, as long as he doesn't cross the start-finish line. Otherwise, he'd get a even more severe penalty, I would presume, for ignoring his quali ban. As we're seeing the Alfa Romeo of Mr. Basil crossing the line with the white Red Bull behind. Obviously, something we're not used to seeing, but hopefully we're going to get used to seeing for the next few weeks. In the last stream, I don't think anyone heard me, is prefer this white Red Bull livery, this Honda homage. You've got a yellow flag coming up the hill there, maybe? No, it's just in the last sectors. You're seeing a queue of cars to start their laps. If people want to put in the comments, I can see the comments, as well as Justin will be looking as well. If you want to tell me what you think of Spa-Francorchamps, tell us, everyone that's watching. It would be appreciated. You've seen Apex just about to start his lap, and it's only Lucas of Germany who is not out of the pits at the moment.
Yeah, but actually Mr. Basil is not going to be finishing his lap. He actually invalidated his lap coming down into, I believe that is turn 6 or 7, that little hairpin near the beginning of sector 2. But it looks like now Brian is going to be the first person to actually finish his out lap. He's sliding a lot with the quick change of the lefts and rights through that chicane. So I don't know if he has a new setup. I know he teased it a little bit in the in the Discord, but he's probably still, if he does have it, he probably still is adjusting to the new setup as he is on the wheel.
And Ryan Van Doom has crossed the line to start a lap with a quali ban.
Well, the only thing is he can cross the finish line. He just cannot set an actual lap. So he's probably still getting another lap in a practice.
I would disagree with this. This is not correct. If you want to come out to make sure your setup's correct, you do a out lap and come in before you reach the start finish line. And he's actually now started a full lap. He has invalidated, but I'll have to have a word with DXT Cons about that one. But for me personally, he needs to get a penalty for that, because he has started a lap in qualifying, which he's not supposed to be doing. And in all fairness, I've never, when I've had a quali ban, I've never ever come out onto the circuit with a quali ban. So he was already be taking a bit of a risk, and now got himself into some potentially some hot water, as Bugs Bunny is in that hot water, but on fire with that first lap he's done there. He's gone into 143.2s, and that first lap of practice, Justin, must have really helped them.
Yeah, so they gave a little bit of a last-minute practice. I don't know if anyone actually was in the practice session earlier today, but if they did, they would definitely have a huge boost in being a little bit warm for this race. And it looks like Bugs Bunny does have pole position so far, but it's still half of the drivers to still set a lap time, so we cannot say for certain. Brian actually now comes into the pits. He has invalidated and he has not set his lap at all, unless it will set it once he gets past the finish line going into the pits, which did not happen. So
he is now retired, but we will have to discuss that after the race has unfolded. We're with Yo-Yo at the moment in that Red Bull, striking white and slightly black halo. I'm surprised they didn't go for their traditional blue, just for a little bit on the halo, but they went for the black as you're coming down to Blanchimont now, and towards the bus stop chicane. Don't know why it's still called the bus stop chicane, because it is not a bus stop chicane. As we're coming round the new bus stop and down towards the start finish line, he's going to cross the line. Where's it going to put him? Fifth fastest, the bottom of the soft runners in sixth place. So he's boosted on the softs as well, but everyone apart from that back are on the medium tight, so the softs are really looking like they've got a big advantage. Justin Apex is about to cross the line. What's he going to set? Goes third fastest with a 43.6.
Actually, Apex there might be banging his head a little bit, as he could have potentially had even a faster lap, but when it came to the bus stop chicane, it was a little bit of an oversteering coming into the first turn of that chicane, so he could have potentially had a better lap, but he still has plenty of time. He still has about 10.5 minutes left of this qualifying session to possibly even improve or just get more warmed up for this Grand Prix.
Just seeing Brian Vanderberg coming down to Erouge and up the hill to Radion. So we're going to come down the Camel Straight now. DRS wide open. We're usually going to hit somewhere in the range of about 205 miles an hour. We hit the brakes at the 100 metre ball, the start of that curve, and we now come into Les Combes, and he's into the wall and out in qualifying. He lost it on the curb there, Justin, on the apex, and yellow flags are out of course, and he is out of this qualifying session.
Sorry, but if you actually go into the hood cam of Camjazz coming around the turn, you can actually see the damage. Very unfortunate. Looks like, did he actually hit onto the curb there, actually? Yeah,
he ran onto the curb, and it is almost like it's got butter on some of these curves, and he just sort of pulled him into the corner, and then eventually into the wall. I'm just on board with Lucas of Germany. He's just a bit off topic. He's got himself a lovely Ferrari Italian themed helmet going on there, which I really do like. Not the biggest Ferrari fan in the world, but I kind of appreciate a good helmet design as he's coming around the final corner to start his first lap on the mediums, and he's going to be the only man now to be on the mediums. He's coming down towards Les Sorts in turn one, and now he descends very, very gradually down this second straight here. No DRS just yet. We've climbed down a little bit more and now straight back up about 25 metres. It's a good tower block there, Justin. It doesn't look that much, but they're going so fast as you come down the Camel Straight towards Les Combes. And so we've got this lovely right as he misses the apex of the first of Lake Common, and it takes too much of the apex of the second part of Lake
Which is
Common,
very unfortunate.
invalidates his lap time. Yeah, Mr. Basil
Yeah,
is on
because
his
he
lap
actually
as well.
got a he actually had a purple sector 1 actually, so he was the fastest in sector 1, especially on those mediums, which is quite outstanding. But he just did throw it away. But actually, I want you to go to Mr. Basil real quick actually, because I'm
I'm
actually
with
going
him
to tell
already.
you a fun. I'm actually going to tell you a fun fact about this track that not many drivers know actually. When you come down here, there's a left-hand turn that Mr. Basil's about to take right here. On the right, after the apex, do you see that little green flat bit right there? You can
Yeah,
actually use that with the
yeah,
right side of your car,
I've
so that way
seen
you have
that.
a better exit into that.
I've seen that.
So
I've tried it. I don't like it. It's
it's actually
too.
pretty. If you can time it perfectly, it will be so beneficial because you'll have a wider turn. That means you can accelerate even earlier. That means you'll go possibly maybe up to a tenth or maybe 2/10 faster, and it would just be super beneficial if they can actually hit that. But it's gonna be very, very risky because of course that right tire, you're basically that width right there is the tire width, like approximate to it at least. So you're still gonna have to maneuver around and not hit that grass at all. But yeah, it is a high risk, but it also is a pretty high reward.
So we're just seeing Mr. Basil come across the line now, see if he gets some high rewards with that lap. Goes into the mid-pack there, pretty much spot on into the middle next to his good friend Vidic. Doesn't validate out of turn 1, so he's not able to go again straight away. I'm sure he probably doesn't have the fuel on board. Chemjazz is crossing the line, 47.579. Obviously, I think he slowed down at the line there. He might be going again, potentially. I'm not too sure. Lucas of Germany on his lap again on the mediums. I'm not sure mediums are the tyre of choice though. Justin at this moment in time for the rest of qualifying, really, in my opinion. Just wait on that for just a second. See Anthony come across the line, goes fifth fastest, 43.9. No one able to topple Bugs Bunny just yet. And saying that, he's actually gone even faster. He's gone into the 42s with a
Very,
42.7.
very outstanding there. Very outstanding for him. But we're actually going to be looking at at least I'm looking at Lucas A. Germany right now, as he did set a purple sector 2 on the mediums, and his main competition at this point would possibly be Chunders, maybe even Anthony. I think he might actually be up there in the top 3 if he bags out this chicane perfectly, because he's going really quick, especially on those mediums. So it's outstanding stuff for him. As he comes around, takes the right, takes the left. 141, 142, 143. He's up to 6th place, and that's outstanding on those mediums.
He has done a pretty decent lap there, but I've got a feeling he's going to go on to the soft tyres because it's just not good enough. Obviously, with short qualifying, it's all about really the soft tyres. Obviously, from last season we did full qualifying. I have to admit, the benefit of full qualifying is the strategies are much better played out than they are in short, but it is rather time consuming. Codemasters, please let us pick our own sort of qualifying formats. Give us a range of options. We'd love that. Bring the sprint format in, the proper sprint format. We'd love that as well. But you never know. As you see Lucas taking to the off-road there as Trunders goes through and into Ravage and just around this long right-hander off camber, and it's just notorious for understeer into no-name corner, and it then got christened as no-name corner into Puon now, and this is turn 12. We've got 20 corners around this circuit, so it is a hefty challenge for the drivers as he comes down into Fania, into this chicane, and just on the exit now into turn 15 we come to Compass, and now around Paul Ferry, so we're now on the run down to Beau Rivage, sorry, getting all my names mixed up now, Blanchimont, and then into the bus stop. But as Justin said earlier, sector 3 is basically just one long left-hander, and as you get to Blanchimont there is a bit of a kink, and we get into the bus stop, which is really vital for your lap. And I think trying to just went a little bit deep there into the first part, gets a big kick of oversteer on the exit as he comes across the line, goes 5th fastest, 43.748 for the man in the Alpine, goes 5th fastest, as I said. We have got Stinos, who I don't think he's on a lap there. He doesn't look like he's pushing at all to me. They're not too sure. No, he's 2 seconds down. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come in to do another lap with 3.5 minutes to go. It's the longest circuit on the calendar, and it is about a 2 and a bit minute out lap. So just from a rough maths there, it doesn't look like he's going to get
He's run out of gas now. He's out of fuel.
Enough time, so I don't think Stinos is going to be able to improve. We've got drivers on their out laps. Stinos is in the pits with 3 minutes to go. It's he's definitely not going to be able to make that. Welcome everyone who has joined us for this Belgium Grand Prix. We've got about 4 minutes until the session will be truly over. We'll have a few minutes after the checker, obviously, to let people finish their last flying laps. Number 78 car, Warren, in that AlphaTauri, is invalidated as we were just riding with him for his qualifying lap on those soft tyres. Debutant from last week, obviously didn't sing because there was no stream last week, unfortunately. Sunday stayed on to catch up with Monday and Tuesday, but we decided to have a little week break, and Justin had one of his activities to do last Sunday, and as I say, I needed to rest my lovely vocals for you guys for the rest of the season. Still got just halfway through from today, and we're going to take us all the way up to a week before Christmas. This year has just gone so fast. Started Alapar at the start of 2021, and we're going to be finishing season 2 at the end. Really enjoyed it so far. I mean, there will be a season 3. There is a season 3 that is going to be coming for Monday and Tuesday, and hopefully a season 2 for Super Sunday. Seeing Apex on his lap, Justin. Can we see Apex gaining 9/10 on his previous lap time?
That's the thing. He has to take as many risks as he can.
As he
and no,
took
he
too
has
much risk.
invalidated. Yeah. He has just invalidated his lap times, so now that's basically going to be put into the trash, and hopefully he's conserving enough fuel and enough energy to go out until the end. He's moving out the way to like Cam Jester, who is actually on the mediums, and surprisingly, compared to his soft lap, he's doing a lot faster.
But his first lap was really uncompetitive, actually. He must have made a mistake or slowed down at the line, because it was a 47.579, which was 0.6 off the next slowest time. You know, Chemjaz can be quite far up the standards. We'll see how far up he goes now. We've got some drivers, I think, about to cross the line. I've just seen some drivers on the start-finish. Looks like Bugs has just started his lap. Chemjaz is about to finish his lap, and he goes 11th fastest. He's going to get free choice into the race. Is Stinos going to have enough time? He's got 20 seconds left on the clock, and I'm going to be awfully impressed with this. I think he is just going to make another lap, Justin. That was a bit epic from the Aston Martin man there. I didn't think he was going to be able to set another lap. Apex is going for another lap though, Justin. He has got enough fuel on board. A lot of these drivers are on their laps. Going to have to go to the driver who's probably next to finish a lap. As the checker flag is now out, and Boosted is out as he's hit the wall out of Prix, and he's obviously now going to be starting 13th. And so the checker flag is out. Warren Trunders and Amir Guna cannot improve. As we're going to wait to see who the next driver is to cross the line. Looks like it's going to be Yo-Yo. He's got 45.2 to beat Justin. What's he going to set? Oh, goes third fastest with a 43.597. I was not expecting that. No offence given to Yo-Yo, but that is a stonking time.
Outstanding stuff for him, but he still has Apex Finley on his radar, because Apex Finley is taking, go figure, the Apexes as much as he can without invalidating his lap time. He has learned from his previous mistake. And
Anthony's just coming across the line. Sorry.
No worries. Anthony comes across the line, gets a 143.3, takes him up to third place, takes it from Yo-Yo. But
No,
now Apex is on that long left-hand turn. He's going to be following a Ferrari ahead of him.
Bugs
And
is in the pits.
looks like Bugs Bunny has been happy with his lap time. But we're going to look at Apex right now, coming around the final few turns. Let's see what he does.
Third, then Stinos takes pole. He does a 42.6. He was right behind
Oh,
Apex.
no, he doesn't.
No, he
He does
doesn't.
not.
Lucas in Germany now takes it. This track is really ramped up. We've got to a 42.5. We've got anyone else to cross the line? Mr. Basil has jumped into the pit, so Lucas has snatched it at the very last second, Justin. The last man to cross the line took pole position.
Amazing turnout for him, especially proving that Italian flag loud and proud with that pole position. Congratulations to you, my man. Hopefully you get a good turnout in this race, but he has a huge advantage as he is going to take pole position.
Well, it's not unheard of, Justin. A German in a Ferrari taking wins and pole positions. That's happened on many, many occasions by a couple of different drivers, and he's been able to snatch.
I wonder who that could be.
Oh, yeah,
I have no idea. I'm joking, of course. I know.
Yeah.
I know who you're referring to. Even though I'm just new to Formula One, of course, everyone, even if they have not followed Formula One, have heard of Michael Schumacher.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's very fair. It's just like just like Lewis Hamilton now, isn't it? It's the same thing. We'll probably have it again with Max Verstappen when Lewis leaves. You know, it's and we got Con saying, "Yo, right, man." It's nice to see you. Hopefully, you might see you for a bit of pro clubs later, baby. Potentially, let's see about that. We haven't got our amazing white right winger tonight, Big Weir. He's off on his holiday. He's not going to be with us tomorrow, sadly. Anyway, the top 10 was Lucas of Germany, Stinos, Bugs Bunny, Apex, Anthony, Yo-Yo, Amir Guna, Trunders, Mr. Basil, and Nem Vidic rounds out the top 10.
Said that real quick at the end there, and also M10 Gaming says wet race for our information. Actually, we were told by our weatherman, but thank you for letting us know as well. Appreciate it, my man. Looking out for a brother. But now the qualifying is over. We are waiting for it to load in. It looks like bright and sunny today, but from what the weatherman said, it is going to change near midway of this race. And Con says without Big very well, guaranteed wins then at that point.
Yeah, it just came up on my screen as well.
Alright, well,
no comment.
Well, do we have any information or ads that we should probably talk about, or maybe even future events while we do start this formation lap?
Yeah, so not sure when it's going to happen. It's going to take a little planning, so it's not going to be in the next week or two. But we are looking to do a 24-hour event on the F1 game with a constant roll of different circuits. There will be 100% races. I've worked out about 15 to 17. When we get to the 24-hour mark, whatever race we're on, unless we're just finishing a race just before the 24-hour mark, if we're sort of getting to a point where we can be well into a race, that will be the final race. We will be doing it for charity. We haven't discussed exactly what charity or charities that we will be doing it for, but hopefully it will not just be LFR boys, there'll be other people getting involved, and I think we've gone for the LFR F24, and we'll hope to be doing that, as I said, in a few months, maybe at the end of the season. It might be a winter thing, Justin. It might be a Christmas break event. We don't know yet, but keep an eye out for that. I'll make sure to get a GoFundMe page for whatever we're doing, so just keep an eye out for that. We'll keep you updated with that. But keeping you updated with tonight, Justin, tyres. What are we saying about these tyres? We've obviously got the bottom 5 who can pick their tyre of choice. Chemjazz, Boosted, Brian and Ryan Van Doon have all gone for the same option. They've gone for the mediums. I'm assuming they think the rain's going to come a little bit later on into this race, not so early, because otherwise the softs will just have the much bigger advantage. And Warren's the only man to be on the soft, so watch out for his start. But I don't know about you, Justin. I'm looking forward to this rain coming.
Oh, I'm definitely with you on that, my friend. It's gonna give a whole other game plan to these drivers. But when it comes to the pit strategy, I can only see just a one-stop pit strategy, no matter what tire that they start off with. Even if it was a full dry race, I would still suspect a one-stop strategy, maybe a soft to medium. But we were told that it is going to rain later on today, so we could potentially see intermediates coming out near the midway.
Well, I've just seen that M10 is just commenting, not sure which driver that is, but it says it's raining in 5 minutes. We know that sometimes it can be a little bit unpredictable. There is no firm dark clouds in the sky just yet, but we don't know what sort of rain we're going to get, Justin. It might be almost like Turkey. It might be sort of a bit of a drizzle, but it might stay around. Only time is going to tell on that one. I say that every week, but it is always the case. We're seeing a one-stop strategy for the soft and medium and soft hard, but we're not going to be seeing that, obviously, because we're most likely going to be going on some wet tyres, just waiting for the last driver to form up. We've had a week off, but we're back, and we're now looking forward to the first race of the season. We've got the first light, second, third, fourth, and fifth red light. And we're away for Super Sunday racing for the Belgian Grand Prix. Lucas of Germany has got a good start. Stinos is going to maybe look to go around the outside. Seeing an Alfa Romeo trying to dive down the inside. Got Bugs Bunny diving on the inside of Stinos there. Moved up to second place. It's a Ferrari, then an Alpine, then an Aston Martin, a Mercedes, and an Aston Martin again as we come up. Radion and someone...
Hold on, we have a spin! We have a spin near the back, and it's Mr. Basil. Mr. Basil had the inside. I actually saw that Mr. Basil had the inside move of Nem Vidic, but Nem Vidic did not give the space and knocked him into turn 3, I believe that is. Yeah, into turn 3, and then he went wide there.
Sorry, Justin. Bugs Bunny's been pushed off the track there by Lucas of Germany, and he's lost a huge amount of places. We've got a Red Bull looking on the inside of Bugs Bunny, of Yo-Yo, that white Red Bull, really distinctive in this race, I have to say. As he goes around the outside, no name corner, does take the exit onto the track limits there. He did take all 4 wheels off the circuit. Just seeing a lot of drivers struggling with grip. Got Bugs Bunny right on his gearbox again. It all seems to be going on at the minute, Justin, with moves aplenty at the moment.
Yeah, so his moves all over the place, but it's a very poor, not a very poor turnout, but a very unfortunate turnout for the Alfa Romeo team, as Mr. Basil was battling Nem Vidic into turn 3, gets knocked out. Nem Vidic did not give the space to Mr. Basil where Nem Vidic hit Mr. Basil when he was on the inside and made him go into the grass. Mr. Basil tried to come back onto the track, but slides right off and loses his whole front wing.
Oh, and Warren is round. Sorry.
No worries. Warren is round now, coming into the bust-up chicane. I don't know what happened back there. I don't know if it was an oversteer or it got knocked over, but now he is going to have to manage with extremely hot tires at this point. Oh! Yo-Yo is gone! Yo-Yo is out! That could be a safety car, or maybe a virtual safety car.
We haven't seen anything just yet, but that is a very common trait here in Belgium. Is Rouge Booster gets himself a time penalty. He's cutting a lot of the corners here. He needs to be very careful with your track limits here at Belgium. He's a little bit unrelenting as we're seeing a wing change there for Mr. Basil, and he's fallen right down. We've still only got a yellow flag in sector 1. I am very surprised. Brian has now hit the wall. That's 2 Red Bulls in the same place, but Brian looks like he's got away. I'm not going to say unscathed, but
it might be some sort of disformity on that wing, but yeah, very unfortunate for those turns. It looked like it was going to be a deja vu moment, and that would have been it for the new Red Bull decal. But as it stands right now, Lucas still has the lead with Stonos close in his rear.
Then a lot of drivers close.
A lot of drivers close. Oh, yeah. And Ryan Van Doom is gone. Spins out, and that's a virtual safety car there, Joe.
And what are these drivers going to do now? The rain is coming, but it's not worth the drivers on the softs to come in. We got Brian who's out as well. And where is he? Where has he gone out there?
He gone out on the long left-hand turn downhill in Sector 2, actually. If you go on Mr. Basil's cam, you can actually see what happened. Potentially going onto those curbs and completely shooting it to the right side of the track and hitting the wall. Very unfortunate. We already had 3 DNFs, 2 of them being Red Bull, 1 of them being a McLaren, and it's only been the beginning of the 3rd lap so far, Joe.
That isn't great. I'm just a little concerned about where Brian is sort of... Was he on the inside, lost it, or on the outside?
I think he was, yeah, he was on the outside. He was all the way on the right side of that left-hand turn.
Okay, well...
So he could have potentially even gone wide on that left-hand turn and hit the curb and spin out, but
we'll have to...
doesn't matter.
We'll have to ask him for his footage, I think, just for where that happened. Seems like a very strange place to be destroying your car. Do you know what I mean? Just like if you're going to do it, you'd probably be more... Anyway, we'll talk about it later. As the virtual safety car has ended, and Lucas of Germany is still in the lead. We are down to 13, but I think this top 6, Justin, are going to keep us well entertained, especially the top 4 are all within probably a second and a half of each other.
Definitely, we currently have a 4-way battle for the first place position, 2 of which are the Aston Martin team, so a pretty good turnout for them. But as they come down to this long left-hand turn in Sector 3, looks like Lucas Germany is actually putting a little bit of a gap to this, but Stenhouse can instantly diminish that by braking late into this bus stop chicane. As they come around to the bus stop chicane, takes a right-hand turn. Looks like Amaguna was looking for a open space on the outside, but doesn't find it, and now DRS has been enabled. That gap is going to be closing down, especially into turn 4 and 5, where I think Stenhouse might get that position, and Lucas might actually go down to 3rd place here, Joe.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. DRS is enabled, but I've got a feeling, Justin, is the clouds are already starting to creep over. It's getting darker. DRS shouldn't be available for very much longer, because when the rain comes down, of course, that will be deactivated. Is Lucas of Germany going to be losing his first place? Stenhouse looks to go round the outside at Le Com, and
Lucas spins!
And Lucas is now into the wall, and he's lost first place, and now going to be dropping potentially down and out of the points. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if there was contact, or if he's just lost it on that slippery inside curb.
I don't know, but the thing is, I think I see a little bit of rain coming in right now, Joe. So I'd say Lucas A. Germany, what he should do, he should go for the gamble, go for the intermediates as soon as he can, just so he's on there prior to the rain coming in, and potentially could be another safety car happening very soon here.
We'll have to wait and see. We're down to
yep, here
12.
comes the rain. The rain is coming down, Joe.
But what are these front runners gonna do? Is Ryan Van Doom is now left session, obviously doing after a couple of laps ago. I said it is raining, but that is not enough rain whatsoever to be even considering coming in yet. It's such a long circuit though, so I'm not too sure, but I think this is going to be a game of follow the leader, Justin. I think, especially for the front drivers, as Stenhouse sets the fastest lap. Boosters gets himself a 3-second pen, but as you said about Lucas, I don't think he's got himself any damage, and he's carrying on, so he doesn't want to take that gamble. That's an interesting one. These drivers on the medium, so Justin, they have not made the right call there.
Not at all, but the thing is, some of them are still battling out, as Amaguna with the DRS is going to make it an Aston Martin 1 and 2. But the thing is, if he gets a little bit of a gap between him and Stenhouse, there's going to be enough time for both of them to go into the pits and not have that double stack. As the rain is getting a little bit worse here, Joe, it looks like it's going to be coming down very soon, and it could potentially be lap 7 where most of the drivers will be coming in for the intermediates. But as it stands right now, everyone is still going for the slicks, and fair point, because there's not too much to where the puddles are going to be too big to conflict with those slicks. But just give it a few minutes and we will definitely see that change.
I have got a feeling now, Justin. Obviously, you didn't have the old F1 game or games. When it used to rain before, I'm just watching on board with some of these drivers. When it used to rain, it would rain the exact same intensity the whole circuit. I've got a feeling in this game they've changed that, and it just rains in certain points. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it because Pouan has got a bit more rain falling than everywhere else. Are we going to have one of these incidents? One of these races, Justin, where there's only really certain corners, a bit like Russia, where it's wet and the rest of the track is pretty much dry, because then you've really got to commit to the dry tyre, I think. If there's only a few corners, we see them down the start-finish straight, you can barely see the rain at all.
Yeah, they must. Looks like Codemasters definitely taking in some notes from Russia, actually. I'm just waiting to see who's going to be the first person to actually switch for those intermediates, and it looks like it's going to be Trunders. Trunders is going to come into the pits now. Looks like he's going to be the first one to switch into those intermediates. Do you think it's a good call here, Joe?
It's just starting to get a bit heavier, so potentially I think this is either going to go quite well or it's probably just going to break even for him. But we'll have to wait and see as he does go on to those inters. And yeah, more drivers are coming in now, and it looks like drivers are really struggling. It doesn't look all that bad, but potentially it feels a lot worse than what it actually looks like. But the front drivers are seeming like they're not struggling too much. It looks like all the drivers on the medium tyres are struggling. Boosted is retired, and not sure where he's retired there.
He has retired in the pits. He has retired in the pits. And Mr. Basil is going to stay out. He's going to take the gamble.
Yeah,
which is kind of surprising. I thought he would actually change to the intermediates, try and get as much of a gap back as he possibly can. But no, he decides to stay out on those mediums, and he's going to really struggle here as the rain now is getting heavier. I'm seeing quite a bit of puddles popping up now, Joe. I don't know if you see them as well.
Yeah, there are some. Yeah, I definitely think it's time. I think Trunders may have made a blinding call. Basil is into the wall. He's made a big mistake here. He's done a Lando Norris, and he's gone a little bit too long on the mediums. Potentially the softs would have been all right. They're all in.
Hold on.
Aguna stays out.
Aguna stays out.
Yeah,
he's not going to try the double stacking. He's going to try and see how he can do. He's feeling confident, but he is braking. He's braking and locking up those front tires a lot into these turns. I think that must have been the worst call that he could have done at this point. He is handling it.
Yeah, we're just watching Trunders now. So he is on the inters, and he's going to be on these faster tyres now. This could be one hell of a call from Trunders here. As we've seen the last couple of drivers just coming out of the pits. As he does come around, he's struggling on these inters, like more than you would expect. I think it's still probably a bit of a crossover. Keep an eye on what Ami Aguna is doing, but of course the tyres are going to be getting rather cold, Justin, I would say, on the softs. Big kick of oversteer there, and he gets a 3-second time penalty. Now that is where I think the game is wrong. He should not get a penalty for that. He was just trying to save it from spinning, but I'm sure he'd rather have a 3-second than a broken front wing. So it isn't interesting. Lucas is stayed on the dry tyres.
He's struggling. He's struggling hitting those curves, and especially in the wet weather, they are definitely not your friend.
And just went off as well.
But he's kept it back on. He brought it back in. Those tires have taken off the gravel residue, as Mr. Basil has now gone into the pits a little bit late, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think, though, Basil is going to get lapped. So he has got that in his pocket for when a safety car does come out. He will be able to catch up. As we see Ami Aguna into the pits, I think a double stack would have been the better option just in now, as he's even struggling to get it slowed for the pit entry. As we're seeing Apex getting really close to the back of Lucas, who is now going to have to bail in. As we see Amir now getting his tyres changed. He's now lost the lead.
Apex Finley and Bugs Bunny are going to be battling into turn 1. It could be a switcheroo for Apex Finley. Oh, and still Emma Gunner's there. I
Oh,
think
this is
I'm gonna be honest with you. Actually, I think this turned out pretty well for Emma Gunner because with that double stacking, he would have been behind a little bit more cars, I believe. So just being in 4th place, I think that's a pretty good turnout, actually. So pretty good communication between them.
DRS is still enabled. I didn't notice that it had been turned off, but it's still on at the moment as Apex tries to make a move there into Lake Com, and he wasn't able to get that done. Chemjaz has got himself a penalty. So Ferrari 7-8 at the moment. Aguna is just coming down into Ravage. And the three of them are now going into no name. Stinos has got himself a little bit of breathing space, but not very much. His front four is still very close. And as you said, Justin, I think Amir made the best call he could, actually. I think he gained more time than he would have lost.
Yeah, so he's done that very well, being very patient and actually taking one for the team there. Because it was a pretty tough battle for Amaguner to actually stay pretty consistent and not actually spin out. But now Bugs Bunny takes a 3-second time penalty going wide into that turn. But even though that has taken him away 3 seconds behind now, but he is catching up a little bit and actually increasing a gap from Apex Finley. But Apex Finley has his ERS enabled, and actually Bugs Bunny has conserved a lot of ERS at this point.
He has, yeah, and that might doing some good for overtakes. I don't think DRS is disabled yet. I haven't seen it come up, but we're going to see now if it is or not.
Still enabled.
No, it's still enabled. That is very odd, actually. I'm very surprised. We're in these mixed conditions as Bugs Bunny goes deep into the corner there. Does the right thing to back out of it, but is Apex now going to try and pounce on that mistake? He's not able to. He doesn't get the drive out of turn 1 as we come through Eau Rouge for the 9th time and up Radion. And that's definitely not flat anymore. It's the Aston Martins, though, are looking in a very, very good position at the moment. And I think Stinos is going to be doing Amir a good favour here as he's going to come down to Lake Com. I am awfully surprised DRS is still enabled. I'm really surprised.
But that's the thing, though. Even though with it being enabled, if the game has glitched out, that could actually potentially help out some of these drivers, even though it is going to be very, very dangerous in these conditions. That's just going to come down to the driver's mentality at that point. When would be the best time to use it? Because I don't know if you saw it, but Stinos into turn 1 of lap 9, actually, with the DRS enabled, he actually got a little bit of oversteer. When he first opened up his wings. So that's the thing. It's probably best to keep that closed until you know that you're on a very, very good stability point of the car. So then you can open up that wing. But we're still waiting for the FIA in this game to actually disable DRS. But it doesn't look like anytime soon.
No, not just yet. He's still got his front four as close as ever. And DRS is now disabled. And that was interesting. I do like it stayed on for a little bit, but obviously we're thinking now that it's just a little bit too wet at this point. I'm not sure if the rain is going to stop. The clouds are not looking too heavy. There is a bit of sunshine out to the right-hand side of Apex, and now from the rear where the bus stop chicane is. So these guys are going to have to do this the old-fashioned way now, Justin. A bit of slipstream and a bit of that new tech of the ERS to try and get past the guy ahead. Of course, the one big thing about being in these conditions is that little red light on the back, which is now turned into the rain light. A lot of drivers are able to use that as an indication of how much battery you've got left. It really does start flashing under the 20% mark, and obviously it's only used as a rain light now, so they don't have that benefit from that, of course. So it will be interesting to see. So Bugs has got a lot of battery to play with, as well as Stinos to defend.
Yeah, so them two have been very patient, keeping the conservation of that ERS, keeping that in that high percentage, so when it counts, they know that they have it saved. Where with Apex Finley, he has quite a bit left, but it's just under that type of percentage. And actually, we do have a caution in Sector 1, and it is Warren struggling from turn 1. Not quite suited for these wet conditions. but hopefully they can improve. But Mr. Basil now is about to be lapped by Stenos and Bugs Bunny, Apex, and Amaguner as they're catching up to him. Mr. Basil might get in between that whole fight, but we're gonna see what happens in a few seconds' time as Stenos is closing that gap to Mr. Basil.
Obviously no DRS now to help defend for Stenos, but is Mr. Basil going to be able to maintain that gap as these four are still trying to fight? Amaguna has made a mistake, Justin, and he's fallen back quite a bit actually by it says a couple of seconds now as we're seeing Stenos and Bugs Bunny both dive into the pit lane.
Oh, they might change to the wets, to be honest here, Joe. They could potentially be changing to the wets. Has it gotten worse than what we anticipated? And yes, they're switching to the wets.
Anthony's coming in as well and also switching to the wets. Is he going to get himself involved in this fight for the lead? We're seeing Amaguna and Apex carry on in the rain. It's getting worse. It's getting a hell of a lot worse than what it was earlier on in this race. As you can see, the wets are going to be really, really good for these drivers. Trunders is round, didn't pit, and he's going to have to do a full lap on the inters, and it's turning into a bit of chaos here. It's Spa, as you've got Kem Jazz who's pit, and then Vidic has now pit, and he's going to come out alongside Kem Jazz potentially here, and no, he just locked in between the two of them as he's still yet to pit. But this rain's really heavy, Justin. I've never seen it this heavy.
I've only seen it this heavy only once, to be honest, but now it comes down to the driver's skill. Before, where Amaguner is taking that left-hand turn, usually you would be able to go down that on the 6th gear. Now he's going down to the 4th, just trying to conserve a little bit of traction, but he is struggling trying to get through. And at the beginning, when Stenos came out of the pits, it was about 15.7 seconds. Now that gap between Amaguner and Stenos is 14.1. So it looks like Amaguner took one for the team again, staying out on the more difficult tire. So Stenos better be thanking his teammate for that, because Amaguner's been taking one for the team and being a real team player at this point.
Yellow flag there. I'm not sure which driver that was. Anthony is off though and onto the grass.
Oh, Apex is staying out. Apex is staying out on the inters.
That is a very interesting call. We see Amaguna now in the pits, and he is going to lose a few positions. Lucas of Germany is now on the wets as well. We'll actually get the tyres up for you guys to see what is going on. We've got about a 60-40 split now of these tyres. So Apex is staying out, and yellow flag now for Nem, who really needs to get on the wet tyres. He's not liking those tyres at all. Warren is on the wets as well. Where did Amaguna come out? He came out in 4th. Anthony's in the pits again. This is interesting. It's just started to slow up now, the rain, I think.
I might have to agree with you there. I think going with the wets might have been just a one-time thing, actually. Let's see what Anthony comes out on, actually.
We'll just see here. He's the last pit box. Now he's going on to another. He's having a front wing change. So Mr. Basil now retires. We've only got 10 drivers left. We've lost 5 drivers. Safety car deployed. And that's worked out really well for Apex. Yeah. I don't think he's going to maintain the lead. I don't think he's going to be able to maintain it. But it's certainly going to be a much, much quicker pit stop. Oh, sorry, not much quicker pit stop. It's going to be much more beneficial. As obviously everyone is keeping to a delta time, but I don't think he's going to have the lead. We're on lap 12.
Oh, Warren spun out on turn 1 again. He could have had the position on Nem Vidic coming out of the pits, but just threw it away there. Now he's staying in 10th place, but looks like everyone, if they stay in their cars and on the track, it looks like everyone so far is going to be getting points here, Joe.
Yeah, if you just keep it to the checker, you're at least going to get yourself a nice point to go to bed to tonight. As we're seeing Apex coming around the final corner, trying to stick to that delta, but of course Stenos has got to stick to it as well. Where is he going to come out? I got a feeling he's going to come out in third place. He's going to come out between Bugs Bunny and Amir Guna is my guess, but he did do the good thing there, I think, of staying out.
Oh, that was really close there. Bugs Bunny almost hit the rear end of Stenos into the bus stop chicane. Good reaction time there for Bugs Bunny, going on the outside and not hitting that rear end, but potentially giving them both a 5-second time penalty. As Apex is coming out now, he is going to be coming out in third.
Oh, and almost, that was very close between the front two, actually. He could have slotted between the two of them if he'd have been a second or so faster. Guys, slow down. This happened to me on Friday. I was the leader and slowed down for the safety car, and no one slowed down behind me, and about 3 drivers went straight into the back of me, and I got like 15 seconds worth of penalties. You don't see how that's fair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but at least there was no contact there. Obviously, everyone is on the same lap, or is going to be on the same lap, so we're not going to see any drivers out of this race, so to speak. Everyone is still going to be fighting for position. We've only got 10 drivers left, but we're going to have about 8 or 9 laps remaining once we get underway. And Bugs Bunny, our championship leader, is in second. Stinos obviously joined us a few weeks ago, but it's making such a big impact on LFR as it stands. I'm sure he's going to be back for tomorrow night for the Japanese Grand Prix. Looking forward to that one. Justin, actually?
I actually am. I think it could be a very interesting race for the viewers. Just the drivers, I'm not too sure.
Do you not
and
like
I know
it?
I am one of those drivers, yeah. So I'm gonna be a little bit struggling a little bit, at least I think.
Do you like it
I've
or
never
not?
raced in Japan.
Yeah, you've not raced there at all?
Not in Formula 1. I've raced on it in Gran Turismo, just not in Formula 1.
What do you think of it on Gran Turismo?
I actually like it, though. It just depends on which car that you use at the end of the day. But I'm going to be honest. I am not confident with Suzuka circuit, but I mean, it's a pretty historic circuit, at least for me. As it was the first track I've ever raced on any racing game. Gran Turismo on PlayStation 2, actually. My first ever track.
Only figure of 8 circuit on the calendar as well. Not sure if it's the only figure of 8 circuit ever, but I know that for a constant it's been the only figure of 8 circuit. We're going to have another lap under this safety car, so we're going to get underway on lap 15. When we do get started, we're about to go on to lap 14. So,
but as we are waiting, do you think it would be a good time to actually start talking about the penalties that the drivers have so far to see where they would set up?
Yeah, we'll have a quick look. They're all on 3 seconds at the moment, so it's an even playing field between all drivers on penalties, Justin. So I suppose that's a really good thing for them, I guess, and obviously getting that up Rouge and Radion is the prime place to be getting penalties. It's a bit of a stickler for penalties around that spot of the circuit.
Apex actually almost went into the rear end of Bugs Bunny again there, but honestly, these drivers just have to respect the distance for everyone, because it doesn't matter right now if you're close to them. It just matters when it's the end of the safety car, which should be at the end of this lap, actually.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, Stenos still has the lead in this Belgian Grand Prix. Then comes Bugs Bunny in second. Apex Finley still has third place, coming out of the pits just ahead of Amaguner, who's in fourth. We have a Ferrari 5 and 6, with Lucas A. Germany in fifth, Cam Jess in sixth. Lucas A. Germany has actually recovered a little bit from that spin earlier in this race, so he has done very well to get back into the top 5 so far. And then in seventh we have Trunders, eighth we have Anthony MC, ninth we have Nav Vidic, and 10th we have Warren. All drivers, if they stay on this track, will have points at the end of the day, so just be patient with it and just be safe, because these conditions are going to really mess you up.
It really will mess you up here, so it's good if you just want to get to just make sure you get to the end. That's the important thing. Get some points for yourself, get some points for your constructors. We're seeing Stinos coming around Pullman with that red Mercedes safety car, which I still think is quite strange that they went for a red safety car this year, but we'll go away from the traditional silver and we'll go for a little bit of Ferrari red on a Mercedes. Strange. As said, we're just going to wait to see if the safety car comes in. My bet is on for it is going to come in, and it will tell us just around this next corner of Compass. As we're just going around now. And there you go, safety car is in this lap. So Stenos is now got the pace. He's dictating the pace. He slows right down, which is the more sensible thing to do. We do see drivers sticking on the back of the safety car, but that's not really what you want to do. You want to be able to go when you want to go, and giving yourself a bit of breathing space from that safety car is ideal. But of course, just in this Sector 3 is a very long Sector 3, so it's much easier to let the safety car get away. As Barry says, bloody rain, man. He was really not a big fan of the rain by the looks of things, but these front four are a real big fan of it so far.
I think you might also have to say 5, because I think Lucas A. Germany still has a good contention to get into the podium positions here.
I think.
Oh, Stenos is going. He's going now.
He did. He went a little bit early, just like I did on Friday night. I thought it was a bit better to go early, and actually, he's made a bit of a mistake there, Justin. He's gone wide, and Bugs Bunny is now going wide, but he's not going to be able to. Oh, and now Apex is almost round as well. They're all struggling. All their tyres are cold from being so slow. And Lucas
Gunnar actually goes into the pits.
Gunnar.
Why did Gunnar? Is he going to change for the Inters? Is he
He
going to take
is.
a gamble?
He's gone on to the Inters. This is a very, very interesting strategic race. I must say, we'll get the tyres back. Yeah, he's the only man on the Inter. It does look like it's calmed down a little bit. We're going to have to wait and see if that was a strategic masterclass there from Gunnar. Only time will tell. As you said about Lucas to Germany, he's now back in this. He's in third place with Apex making that costly mistake.
But now, Stenos actually goes wide there. Bugs Bunny's going to try and go on the outside, but Stenos was able to restabilize that Formula 1 car and keep that first place position. I'm actually going to check the difference in the time, and it looks like the Inters. Oh, the Inters are actually struggling right now. Absolutely struggling.
I was going to say he should stick with it though, only because that rain looks like it's getting a lot lighter.
He's catching up. Gunnar is catching up on the Inters.
Gunnar, as I said, might have pulled off a serious masterclass here. We're right on board with him through No Name Corner. The leaders, Justin, are only 3 or 4 corners away. I'd say maybe 1.5 kilometres in the distance, and not far at all. And that's easily, easily made up. Anthony's made up a position on Chemjazz there, moved up to 6th place. But what are the front runners going to do? It's a bit wetter in this final sector, Justin. The rain's coming down a little bit harder here, but we're going to have to see. But
that's actually going to benefit Gunnar a lot, as he's just going to have to follow the racing line that the drivers ahead of him has given.
Stenos went wide there. Bugs Bunny now goes into the back, and they're all going to pile in. This is going to be a race into the pit entry, as they're all coming in. I think Gunnar is going to take the lead. As there is literally a queue to get into the pit lane, Justin. It's like a Friday evening on the M25 as he comes around the final corner, and he looks like he's going to take the lead of the race. He does.
Amazing stuff from him, timing that to perfection. We might actually start calling him Jarno Opmeer just by the genius pitch strategy at this point. As Stenos is now behind him and is out. He is out at around 4 seconds, maybe 4.3 seconds behind, and that's going to take Gunnar to first place, even with that penalty.
And then Vidic has gone on to another set of wets.
Oh, Nev Vidic has thrown this out. I don't think it's going to get any worse here. Look at him as he's struggling to get traction up on that uphill, and Warren has just got it perfectly, catching up to him already, making that gap to a 0.7. But Gunnar has got to be careful. He is continuously locking that right front, and that's going to give Stenos the opportunity to start catching up. But the thing is, Mamaguner has a huge advantage as his tires could be a little bit warmer in these wet conditions. And that's going to be so far a 1-2 for the Aston Martin team. Amazing pit strategy for the Aston Martin team from Mamaguner near the beginning, taking it for the team, going on the more difficult tires at the beginning, and then taking the gamble, switching it to the intermediates during the safety car. Amazing stuff for him, and it has paid off.
It most certainly has. That was a really good call from Mamaguner. It looks like I don't think the rain is going to stop, so I don't think we're going to be going to the dries, but that would make it even more mega going from a dry to a wet, and mixed conditions in the wet and then back to dry again. That would really make it somewhat exciting. Then Vidic has really messed up his strategy there. I think he must have done that by accident, but he's been overtaken by every other car left in the field. 3.5 seconds is the gap between Mamaguner and Stinos. He has still got that deficit with that 3-second time penalty. We'll just double check if it's still a 3-second. It is, and they're all still on 3-second pens at the moment. Stinos is got no penalties. The only man in the top 4, one of 2 men in the top 5 not to have penalties.
Trunders! Oh! Warren actually gets oversteer into turn 1 again. That turn 1 has not benefited him at all, and he has actually hit the side pod of Trunders. Hopefully he didn't get that much damage onto the F1 car, but if he did, that's going to be Trunders' race practically over, because in this game, that is an unfixable point of damage onto that Formula 1 car.
3.1 is now the gap. Justin 2.9, 2.8 is now the gap. Stinos is starting to get in the groove on the inters. The track is getting drier. Is it going to get dry enough? We haven't got many laps to go, but of course these laps are extremely long laps. We're over 4 miles in distance here, just over 7 kilometres in length. It is a seriously long circuit here, but not of the Spa of old. That was a giant 20 miles or 15 miles worth of circuit. Apex is almost losing it again there. The Mercedes getting a big kick of old oversteer out of Campos, and now around Prix and down towards Blanchimont. Now is this still flat? A tiny little lift there from Apex as that gap is not coming down. Come down just enough, but at the moment as it stands, Justin, it's an Aston Martin 1-2, and we have seen a few 1-2s so far this season actually, which is nice to see.
Yeah, very good turnout for them. It just comes down to the pit strategy and the communication between these two drivers. If there wasn't any communication, I'll be seriously surprised, because in that case the chemistry between them two has just been outstanding as a team. But what it comes to right now, actually, that we might actually start talking about, Joe, is driver of the day 1, but also if that 3-second time penalty on Mamaguner should potentially be removed, because if you remember earlier, he got that for getting a little bit of oversteer and going off of the track, but saving it, but he still suffered quite a bit of lap time, so that's going to go down to the stewards if he ever puts that in, and if he does, and it is successful, Mamaguner could potentially win this race.
Of course, that depends on whether he's got any more warnings now, because if he's got another warning, he will not be able to get that penalty removed, of course, because if you got a 4th warning and we let you off with a 3rd, you've just still got yourself a penalty. And then Vidic is now gone on to the soft tyres. He's all over the place today with his strategies.
I don't think that's going to be good for him. He's just sliding already, struggling getting on that uphill. I think the slicks are going to be too tough for him. But granted, it was a gamble to get. He was already in 10th place. So the gamble was there, and to be honest with you, it's still good that he did it, just to test to see if it was going to do him better. But unfortunately, it has not, and he has crashed into the chicane after the first DRS zone. But yeah, so the slicks are definitely not going to be your best bet. But as it stands right now, Mamaguner still has the lead. But Stinos might still have the win as he is catching up to his Aston Martin teammate.
Yeah, and the gap isn't being closed behind from Lucas. Of course, our pole position holder did have a short battle, not short and sweet for Lucas of Germany though, as he had that battle into Lake Com with Stinos, who is just ahead of him. And you'd think he'd have the bit between his teeth trying to get back, but looks like he's not able to keep the pace of the Dutchman, or the two Dutchmen in the Aston Martins. It's the second of Alafar's double Dutch Aston Martin teammates, of course, Tuesday Tim and Raw being in the Aston Martin as well, and both also being from the Netherlands. Is Bugs Bunny going to be able to make a move on Lucas? Of course, they both got 3-second time penalties, so it's an even keel between the two of them, so this move needs to be done on track for that position. Apex is sitting comfortably behind, potentially getting third place and finishing fifth on the road. Nemvidic is round again, and he's made a big error with those soft tyres. That must have been a mistake, surely. But that's a bit of a silly error to have gone onto the wets when you meant to go on the inters, and then onto the soft when you were meant to go on the inters.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at it. Yeah, so Emma Gunnar actually gained 2 warnings during the wets, so it could potentially not be that. But the thing is, he has to still be careful now, because if he gets one more penalty point, that podium could potentially be away from him there. So he's got to keep it on the black stuff. Even just let your teammate pass if need. It looks like Nemvidic has actually crashed out. No, actually no. He actually retired in the pit lane. He has retired in the pits, and
which is very
but he should have
strange.
stayed out, because he would have gotten points if he stayed out. He would have gotten at least a point. But he has decided. And actually, hold on, Joe. If you look at it, the rain has stopped. The rain has stopped a little bit into turn 1, and I'm going to get another time penalty. So he's basically thrown away his chance.
Apex now gets the penalty as well, so he's not comfortable. He was in a comfortable position, and now he's not. Are we going to see Bugs Bunny going for a move here? Are we all going to see this all kicking off into the final lap? As you said, Justin, the rain has stopped. We're on lap 20 of 22. We've got 2.5 laps to go, and I just don't think. I think if I don't think you'd be able to catch him at the end. I just don't think that would happen.
No, I don't think so. But we could potentially see DRS become enabled in the next coming of laps. To be honest with you here, Joe, we could potentially see it. And if that's the case, Nemvidic actually could have had a pretty good strategy with but unfortunately he did retire from the race, and he's given it up.
Yeah, he potentially could have. It is still raining in the middle sector around Puon sort of area. It's still raining in sector 2, about turn 12 to turn 13. It's raining on this back straight as well, Justin. So I don't think we're going to see any more pit stops in this race. We've still got Bugs very close to the back of Lucas as they come in to the bus stop, and they've only got 2 more runs at that bus stop now until the end of this Belgium Grand Prix. So we're halfway through the season now at the halfway point, and it's DRS is enabled, Justin, with just over 1 3/4 laps.
Apex is going on the softs. Apex has gone onto the softs,
as well as Anthony as well. But I just think, unless they want to go for that fastest lap, I just think it's too late.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on there. So basically, when it comes to the pit lane, it's going to take like around potentially 25 seconds to get out of that pit lane, and only with 2 laps to go, I don't see you catching up and gaining a position or 2.
This is almost, I feel like I'm having deja vu here from M&R. But however many weeks ago it was when we had the rain fall, it's a little bit different. We had the rain fall right at the end. We had drivers come in for the intermediate tyres, and some people stay out on the dries. In that race, the intermediate tyre actually won out overall. So are we going to do the same here with the softs working out? We've had Lucas round.
Lucas has spun!
And
that's so unfortunate.
And we've got Apex, who is catching up as well. And the track, I'd say, is now dry, Justin, already.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Just look how Apex takes this turn, that left hand down here where Lucas has recently spun. He could potentially make his way back up to potentially 4th place, but I don't see him battling for that podium. He might have gotten that extra point for the fastest lap, but to be honest with you, is it going to be worth it? Because remember, they were on the dries earlier in this race.
He's 19.5 seconds behind the leader. He's got 1 lap to make up around 20 seconds worth of race time. I don't see it happening, but I have to admit, Justin, Amir Guna is struggling out of turn 1. They're all struggling. They're going wide. And actually, if Amir Guna can make the best of these dry conditions on the intermediate tyre, he could he's at 6 seconds. There you go, Stinos! He's got himself a penalty. At the end of the race, Bugs Bunny is now going to try and pounce on this move. Overtake is enabled. DRS is enabled. And he's going to look to the outside into Le Com. They go side by side. He gets the move done. Bugs Bunny moves up into second. Stinos had this win in the bag, and that's what we love about live sport. It can all change in a matter of moments.
But that's the thing now also, Bugs Bunny technically has the lead in this race because of the penalty points with Amaguner.
He does. And we're just keeping an eye. 3-second penalty there for Lucas. And Apex is now going down the inside at Ravage on Lucas of Germany. Now round No Name Corner. If he'd have had another lap, he would have won this race.
Wait, he could potentially, actually. We're near the halfway point of this whole entire lap. He was at 19 seconds, and now he's bringing it down to 10.9. He could actually potentially get it. He's going to have to pull something. He's going to continuously go out. He's completely out of ERS. He's coming down into the final chicanes. 9 seconds now. 8.6, 8.4 seconds. Apex is putting everything on the line here. Taking as much wide turns as he can. 6.7.
He has only got 1 corner now. We've got Blanchimont, which is pretty much a flat-out left-hander. These Inters are going to have to lift off. They keep with it. I think this was 1 lap too late for Apex. I think we've had 1 more lap, as we're going to see Amir Guna cross the line to take the win for only a moment, as Bugs Bunny wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Apex comes across the line. He got so close. He gets that fastest lap. He's off the podium. Lucas of Germany fights back for that 5th place. Is he going to be able to keep it though as he crosses the line? And here comes Anthony. Is he going to move up? He doesn't. He stays 6th fastest in this race. He stays 6th, comes home in 6th, 7th for Trunders. Kemjans is about to cross the line in 8th place. Is anyone going to steal that fastest lap at the end? Is Warren going to steal it? Because the track is now dry, and I'm just gutted, Justin, we didn't have 23 laps of this race, because I think that last lap would have been something else.
It would have been something else, but I'd still say, Apex, you have done very well. You've taken the gamble, and to be honest with you, he actually has gained a position, almost bringing him himself into the podium. But very unfortunate, as he has played this game very well, taking the gamble, going on the slicks near the end and catching up a bit. But for me personally, Joe, I'm still going to give driver of the day to Amaguner. Doing the team play, going on the tougher conditions, on the tougher tire twice to let Stinos, his teammate, go early and take those easier to maintain tires during those wet conditions. So, and also not even just that, but also bagging in the strategy after the safety car, going onto the intermediates, taking everyone by storm after that. But unfortunately throws away his first place position to another warning. But I still give driver of the day to Amaguner in my opinion. And
the game did give it also. We'll pick a top 3 for the end of this race. You see the drivers coming up onto the podium. That it's just a shame we had a lot of drivers out. But for us, only with 9 drivers at the end, it did not feel like there was only 9 drivers left. There was so much to play for right to the very end. I loved Spa. That is another reason why I love the Belgian Grand Prix. Mixed conditions, it was fantastic. Great race from Super Sunday. That really did make it a Super Sunday race, I have to admit. So,
I'm going to agree with you on there.
Bugs Bunny takes the win. Our championship leader extends his lead in the championship. Stinos is in second. Third place, fellow countryman Amir Guna, who is our driver of the day. Let's see if the drivers agree with that. Apex came home in fourth with the bold strategy call, which so close to paying off at the end. Lucas of Germany comes home in fifth from being on pole position. Anthony is in sixth. Seventh was Trunders. Kemjaz came home in eighth. Ninth was Warren. Nem Vidic, Mr. Basil, boosted. Ryan Van Doom, Brian Vanderberg, and sorry, you can't see the last place.
And Yo-Yo. It was Yo-Yo. All of them serving DNFs. Very unfortunate, but that's how the race goes.
So, catch us tomorrow for Monday night racing at the Japanese Grand Prix. See Justin in his Scarlet Red Ferrari. We'll see what he can do. I'll be here with Lee tomorrow. Sure, we're going to have another cracking Monday night race as we always do. Tuesday, we're going to the States. We're going to Texas for the USA Grand Prix. So keep an eye out for that. One of my favourite circuits on the calendar, especially to defend, Justin. So hopefully I'll give you some good content in that race. We have started a pro clubs as well, which I am planning to put some on the channel, but we're a little bit rusty at the minute, so I'm not putting it up just yet because I don't want to give us a bad name. But we will I will have some content up for that at some point, because we do have a lot of fun playing it, even though we do get a little bit competitive at times. Anyway, thank you very much for watching Super Sunday Racing. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe. I noticed we had 140 subscribers. We're 10 away from our target. We've got 9 races to make that happen, and only you guys can make that happen. Obviously absolutely free, but it would mean the world to us if we could get to 150 or even more by the end of this season. So as I say, catch me tomorrow, catch Justin on track for the Japanese Grand Prix tomorrow, and next week on Sunday, if you only watch it to watching Sunday, we're going to the Temple of Speed. It's Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Can't wait for that one. One of my favourites to commentate on, I must admit. We've got a double header banger here at a Super Sunday. Anyway, catch you tomorrow for Monday night racing. It's goodbye from me and from Justin.